Now at 5, 2 new proposed bills aimed at helping the Great Salt Lake. What projects those bills will fund. Plus, public school teachers in Salt Lake City protesting HB 215. Why they're against it, even though it will give them a raise. And the alleged gunman in the Half Moon Bay shooting in court today. What charges he's now facing.
Live from Utah's first TV station, ABC4 News celebrates 75 years.
Good evening, I'm Emily Flores.
And I'm Glenn Mills. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. In Salt Lake City today, dozens of public school teachers walking out of classrooms in protest of a proposed school voucher program making progress in the state legislature.
Public money, public schools, public money, public schools.
The bill would give parents tax dollar funded vouchers to help pay for private school tuition or homeschooling. These teachers argue it would take money from public schools that need it. The bill would also give public school teachers a raise, but one we spoke to says the raise isn't worth it.
The raise and the scholarship/voucher tied together actually hurts public school teacher morale. We don't believe that our raises should come at the expense of our students, and we're unwilling to compromise our values for more money.
Supporters of the bill say it would give parents more options for schools, whether that be private or public.
And Utah's legislature could send that bill to Governor Cox's desk as soon as tomorrow. Utah senators voted in favor of moving House Bill 215 to a final floor vote tomorrow. Opponents of the bill have tried to tweak it through amendments to divide teachers' raises from the voucher program, tie pay raises to inflation, and create a process to report handing out the vouchers unfairly. Each of those moves failed. HB 215 will get a final vote on the Senate floor tomorrow.
2 bills unveiled today, and both focus on saving the Great Salt Lake.
ABC4's reporter Kate Garner was at the Capitol today when the lawmakers announced their bills and joins us live now from Salt Lake City. And Kate, how could these bills really help save the lake?
Glenn, Emily, one of those bills aims to raise water levels at the lake by 9 feet, while the other hopes to bring in up to $300 million to fund programs and projects that would do just that.
This is something we have been given by previous generations that we need to pass on to other generations.
The Utah Rivers Council is backing 2 bills that aim to preserve the Great Salt Lake.
This resolution will establish an official goal to raise the lake level to at least 4,198 feet.
This is considered the minimum health water level at Great Salt Lake. Senator Nate Bluen's bill sets that as the goal, which is an increase of 9 feet from current levels.
It's a small step, but we all need a shared goal to work towards. And as the governor said in his address last week, we're not going to let the lake disappear.
The drying up and potential disappearance of the Great Salt Lake is the existential crisis of our time.
Representative Joel Briscoe's bill will repurpose the sales tax that is collected into the Water Infrastructure Restricted account and deposit it into the existing Great Salt Lake account.
There is $180 million sitting in WIRA today. In the last full fiscal year, $58 million was deposited into WIRA.
This will happen for 5 years and bring in about $300 million, which can be used in different ways to bring water into the lake, like leasing water from agriculture.
And that runs into the billions of dollars. So this would be a healthy down payment, step in the right direction, probably not the total cost of trying to get enough water to restore the levels of the lake to where they need to be.
We have been basically not necessarily trying to play catch up under the circumstances of the conditions of the mega drought and climate change. So these things do translate into dollars and cents.
Now, WIRA was established back in 2015 as a way to fund upcoming projects like a pipeline at Lake Powell, but it could be years before any of those projects even begin to take shape. Reporting live in Salt Lake City, Kate Garner, ABC4 News.
Thank you, Kay. Turning now to a first look at our weather forecasts, and the good news is Mother Nature is helping with those lake levels this year.
Yeah, what a strong start to our winter, Nate.
It's been awesome. Great to see. I think we had a story a couple weeks ago. It's risen 12 inches since the lowest point in early November. Mother Nature is going to bring more moisture, as you mentioned, the next couple of days. Hey, let's look at some of the sunshine. I was out searching for it, where we do have lots of cloud cover across northern Utah. This is a look at Utah State University campus in Blanding. Boy, it looks beautiful with the sunshine, but it's just a balmy balmy 30 degrees like we are here in Salt Lake City. In fact, 31 at the airport, 30 being reported here at our station. Temperatures across the state are still colder than normal by a good 5 to 10 degrees with the northerly flow that's in place. Logan just 23. Some inversion still in place there. Vernal 14 degrees, 26 in Price. Good evening. In Milford 27. St. George sitting at 46. Lake Powell 42. There's a little bit of light snow shower activity moving in from the north as well. So with the northerly flow that we have in place, weak disturbances are moving within that flow, and it is bringing some light snow showers again this evening. Yesterday, it really kind of picked up and impacted some of the road conditions in the evening, expecting maybe a half of an inch or less across some of northern Utah this evening, so it could impact some of our roadways yet again. With how cold it is, it could accumulate pretty quickly. The bigger picture, though, shows yet northerly flow in place tomorrow, a little change with temperatures, but we have a feature arriving early on Friday. Some of these models are showing could generate more snow potential for even the Friday morning commute. We'll kind of break down more of that. For now, plan on 21 for an overnight low here in Salt Lake. Again, some light snow showers possible, patchy fog, and 28 in St. George with clear skies. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Nate. In Salt Lake City, police investigating after a body was found in the foothills this morning. We're told somebody found that person near 11th North and Beck Street inside an old kiln. The terrain in the hills there was so rugged, police had to confirm the location with a drone before they even hiked up there. Details about the case are limited, but police say the person may have been inside that kiln.
Based on the information that we have, officers believe that it's likely that this person was living inside of this old limestone kiln. Again, it's very early in this investigation and we'll be able to determine more later.
So far, police do not suspect a crime has been committed. They tell us they don't plan to release any new information until they've identified that body and contacted the person's family.
Well, today marks day 3 of his sentencing for an Ogden couple. A judge hearing arguments and testimony this week to decide how long each person should spend in prison for killing their child. Brenda Emil and Eric Costello pleaded guilty in the murder of their 3-year-old in 2017 after the child was found beaten and starved to death with makeup covering some of her bruises. Their guilty pleas taking the death penalty off the table, but that doesn't mean they won't spend the rest of their lives in prison. They will be in court for the rest of the week into next week. The judge sentencing them separately, and that sentencing will be determined at the end of the hearings.
An arrest made in connection to the murder of a man with Utah ties. This comes nearly a year after 33-year-old Jared Bridegan was repeatedly shot in front of his 2-year-old daughter in Florida. Henry Tennant has been arrested in connection to this case, but police believe he was not acting alone. Bridegan was shot and killed last February, about 30 minutes from his Jacksonville home. Police say he was driving home when he saw a tire in the middle of the road. He pulled over to try to move that tire. That's when police say someone shot him 4 times while his daughter was in the back seat.
This was a planned and targeted ambush and murder. The ruthless homicide has pained our community.
Tennant now facing many charges, including conspiracy to commit murder and second-degree murder. He's expected to appear in court on Thursday. Now to the latest on the mass shooting spree on the West Coast. The alleged gunman in the Half Moon Bay, California shooting arraigned this afternoon on murder and attempted murder charges.
Yes, this is we learn new details in the random attack in Yakima, Washington that left 3 dead. Renewed calls for gun control once again echoing across the country after the latest deadly mass shootings. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
67-year-old Chun Li Zhao facing a judge on 7 counts of murder, 1 count of attempted murder, and charges of enhancing a firearm.
The one thing they can count on is that the San Mateo County District Attorney's Office will do everything in its power, working with the Sheriff's Office, to make sure that justice is done here and that the right outcome occurs.
The families of 7 innocent farm workers now grappling with their sudden loss. Police taking down the suspect hours after the massacre after they say he opened fire at 2 farms Monday in Half Moon Bay, California. Officials calling this a workplace violence incident.
This is not supposed to happen here. These are good people.
Meanwhile, in Yakima, Washington, 3 people killed Tuesday after a random attack at a convenience store. Officials say the shooter didn't buy anything or say a word before killing 2 customers and a man in his car at a gas pump. Authorities saying the suspected gunman later died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. All of this after 11 were killed during a Lunar New Year celebration at a dance hall in Monterey Park, California. A newly released Secret Service report showing a gun was used in nearly 3/4 of the mass attacks carried out in the U.S. from 2016 to 2020.
What the hell is wrong with us that we allow these weapons of war and large capacity clips out on the streets and sidewalks? Why have we allowed this culture, this pattern to continue?
The White House now renewing calls for gun control. Vice President Kamala Harris visiting with families of the victims in the Monterey Park shooting. Rena Roy, ABC News, Half Moon Bay, California.
And now in Washington, D.C., Senator Mitt Romney joining his colleagues in reintroducing a bill that would block taxpayer-funded abortions. It's called the No Taxpayer Funding for Abortion Act, and it would permanently prohibit taxpayer funding for abortions. Romney saying this would make the restrictions on funding for elective abortion coverage permanent. If the bill passes, people covered under Obamacare would be able to get reimbursed for abortions.
A controversial bill regulating gender-affirming care for transgender youth will likely head back to the Senate, a House committee voting for major changes to Senate Bill 16. The bill, originally banning surgeries and puberty blockers for transgender kids, would now allow for hormonal therapies if kids and teenagers under the age of 18 are diagnosed with gender dysphoria. This move from inside the Capitol last night as a protest against the bill, along with 3 others the transgender community considers anti-trans, was happening outside.
I've been on a wait list to receive puberty blockers for 9 months now, and if this bill were to pass, all of that time, all of those doctor's appointments, all of that effort will be a waste.
Other proposed changes include a state-sponsored study of hormonal treatments for transgender people and allowing for patients to sue doctors for hormonal treatments, among 4 other proposed additions to the bill.
And still ahead, tornadoes tearing through Texas, where the severe weather is heading next.
And a healthy storm system for our mountain areas. When will we see more snow and how much will pile up? All the details coming up.